Hello, everybody, and welcome to our potentially first dedicated Laundroworks webinar for our Laundroworks customers. Today, we're going to be talking about different features that drive results. So, things that you may not know about. I have my resident Laundroworks experts here, and I'm so excited to introduce you to Oleg, who is our head of self-serve. Welcome, Oleg.
Hello, everyone.
You probably know Oleg, especially if you signed up more than 2 years ago. He probably have talked to him at some point in your life. You probably have his cell phone number. We're just so grateful that he's taking the time to be here. And we also have Charlie, who is one of our customer success managers here at Sense. Welcome, Charlie.
Hello, everyone.
Awesome. Charlie has been instrumental in launching our integration between Sense and Laundroworks. He has been basically our go-to CSM for our users across Sense and Laundroworks to get them up and running on the system. So I'm Sivan. I oversee product operations here at Sense, and we're super excited to dive into some things today. So first and foremost, this is the first type of webinar that we're doing for our Laundroworks customers, and we are going to be covering a lot. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat or in the Q&A. I'll be fielding those questions and getting to them and bringing them up to the team as time permits. Also, we're going to be covering some things that you might already know about. That's totally fine. Congratulations, really cool. But we're hoping to unlock additional functionality that you can take advantage of, things like promotions, time of day pricing, etc. And some of these features will require support assistance to get enabled for your account. If that's the case, you'll see it on the slide. It will say email support@laundroworks.com to get this set up for your business. And we'll take care of that, in a super timely manner. Last but not least, we're just so grateful for you. We have a community available on our community platform, which maybe Jesse, you could drop the link to join for our Laundroworks community. We would love to hear from you just regarding, obviously feedback, but also content-wise, what it is that you want to hear and watch and see. And we'll definitely be doing more of these in the future. And Kelsey so graciously says, Laundry Mountain says Charlie is the GOAT. And I couldn't agree more. And I'm so grateful. We definitely need that pump up right now. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, thank you for the chat. Please feel free to keep it going. But just getting started here, I'm going to pass this to Oleg to start because we are starting with hidden tips and tricks within the Laundroworks system. So obviously the Laundroworks system being comprised of everything that you know and love, our value add center, the card readers, and we'll be getting into the mobile apps a little bit later in this session. But we're going to start with the Laundry portal. So Oleg, what are we going to be covering in the Laundry portal today?
Yeah, it's Laundry Portal and kind of some connected features, like because a lot of the Laundry Portal controls the VAC, so I'll talk a little bit about that. But I really want to highlight some more, I don't want to say hidden features, but features that a lot of customers don't necessarily know we even have.
Lesser used for
I'm not going
sure.
to go into too many basics here. Just how you view a basic report. Your existing customers, you just kind of click that report. A lot of it's kind of pretty intuitive. But anyways, if you have any questions, you can fire them off. So I'll focus on promo codes, some access controls that we have, a few reports that you may not know about. Yeah, let's go ahead. Go to the
Yeah.
next slide, please. Yeah.
Absolutely. And just with that being said, this is going to be recorded. So we'll be sending out a link to the recording. So don't feel pressure to remember every single thing. You can always reference it back.
Yep. So the first thing is, this is a feature we introduced probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, is replacing the card. So customers can replace their own card right at the kiosk. There's a replace card button that is usually enabled by default on all systems, from a year and a half ago forward. If you have an older system, it might not be, so contact us about that. What this feature does is allow customers, if they lose their card or forget it, they can click this button, replace card button, they can type in their phone number or email that they had registered the card with, and it'll pull up their balance, it'll pull up all their registered information, allow them to spit out a new card with the same balance minus maybe some sort of fee that you want to charge, $1 or $2 as a replacement cost. And it'll block the old card so they can't come back with it in case they find it. This is a super useful feature. We encourage everybody to use it. And the other benefit of this is it kind of encourages registrations, right? Because you need that phone number or email tied to the card. Otherwise, we can't really authenticate you. We don't know which balance to pull. right? Because when you replace card, you click replace card, asks you for your phone number or email. So with that, um, go to the next slide, please.
Registration is so important also for you to have the information to be able to market to your customers.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we're actually just days away from launching our beta of the Laundroworks customer sync into Sense so that you'll be able to utilize Sense marketing tools to market to your self-serve customers. So encouraging sign up and registration not only gives them the ability to replace their card if it gets lost, but also will give you the ability to market to them and offer promotions. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
speaking
It's
of
just a
promotions,
win-win, right? They replace their card and then you can do all these nice things to them, even send them a message when the laundry is done. It's just that's it. Once they register, I mean, and they have the balance on their card, they're not going to any other laundromat ever. So right, so previous to an introduction of a new feature, but a couple of months ago, in order to register, they need to place their card on the VAC and press the registration button along the bottom, right? And it pops up this registration screen. Now there's a new feature where you can throw this registration screen right when new customers press the new card button. So before they even make a payment towards the new card or dispense a card, you automatically can force them to enter the registration information. There's even an option there to skip the screen in the top right corner that you can enable. So, they have a way out in case they really don't want to give you that information. That's an option you can enable too. So if you right now, this feature, we have to enable it for you. It's not exposed right now for you to control. So if you want this, if you want to throw the registration screen right before the card is dispensed, just shoot us an email, support@laundroworks.com, and we'll enable it for your account.
yep, 100%. Now, you said
Yeah.
that this is enabled by default for newer accounts. Is there a setting that they would have to do on the Laundry portal, or is that just
No,
the
the replace card feature, the button is on there. The actual throwing of the screen when the new card button is pressed, that's not on by default. All right. So if the cust operators want that by default, they have to email us and we'll enable it for them.
got it? Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, keep the questions coming,
And yeah,
everybody.
we have one operator that has this on. That screen for every new card customer. He like 98% of his customers are registered, right? And he promotes to them. It's amazing.
Amazing. And so
And
let's talk a
nobody
little bit
feels bad
about
about losing their card, right? Because they can always replace it.
exactly.
Sorry.
Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
promotions.
Okay. The other one is promo codes, right? So you can create these campaigns like you see, from any retailers where you can, or you buy stuff online, enter a promo code. So you can do the same similar thing with Laundroworks. Under the marketing tab there on the left-hand menu, you can create these campaigns with a global code like welcome 10 I have here, for example, that, um, anybody can enter. And the value attached to that. So when they redeem it, they'll get $10. You can create unique codes, and these are kind of if you want to send individual codes to specific customers or just give somebody a one-time code for some sort of value, you can do that as well. Um, so the way it works, that's the other way to get customers registered is um, it'll ask them for their phone number, right? When they're redeeming it, so we authenticate them, and then so that we don't then customers can't double dip for that feature, right? So once you have the phone number, we'll send them a one-time code. They type it back in. We give them that $10 promo, and that's it. That phone number and that card can no longer redeem that. In this case, the Welcome 10 promo, right? So that way you get registration, and you really prevent double dipping against the promo code. And this is available for cards and apps as well. So app customers can redeem a promo code within the app. And Charlie will talk more about the apps.
100%.
Okay.
Awesome. Again, if you don't see marketing, we can enable it for you on the back end. Um, Somebody just asked if we can see Oleg's screen so we can see where he is navigating. He's not navigating. We're just sharing the slide, which I believe you should be able to see on your screen. But the Laundry portal button here for marketing, and I can go right into the Laundry portal if preferred and show you what that looks like. And then, yeah, you know what?
Yeah,
Why
if you
don't we
want to pull
just
it,
do
if you have it on
that?
your
Yeah,
screen,
why don't we
select it.
just do that
Yeah, just do
actually?
that.
Yeah, I have Laundry portal right
Yeah,
over
there is on the
here.
left-hand side. Yep.
Yep, marketing, and then add promotional campaign, and you could see the same thing right over here with all of the different ability to limit or to put some guardrails on this as well.
Mark says you can't see. Can anybody else? Is anybody else having this trouble of seeing the shared screen?
We can see it. So you might need to, Mark, just change your view. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Sometimes your Zoom may default to speaker view versus showing you what's on share screen. So it looks like it might just be
There's
a
tabs on
technology
the top
issue.
of Zoom. It could be a webinar and it could be the screen. Maybe
Yeah,
Mark, click on one of those tabs.
exactly.
If
Yeah.
anybody else is
Okay.
having it, yeah.
Click into Sivan's screen instead of the webinar itself. Anyways, Heidi's
Yeah.
asking, can you make more rules to promo code like purchase minimum to receive additional funds and so on?
Yes, that's a good one. We've had that request before. That's a feature that's we know about and we will implement it like a minimum. Yeah, basically the way we're looking at it is you have to have paid some amount towards that laundry card at the time of purchase or even before in order to participate on the promo. Yeah, that's another
Awesome.
request. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, oh, like, how do customers get notified of the promo?
No, that's right now. It's the system doesn't notify them. You would have the operator would need to create some sort of. Uh, it depends. I mean, we have customers advertising on Google, right? Doing some sort of interesting stuff with like geo locating where customers are searching from and then advertising to them, right? You don't
Yeah,
necessarily want to advertise it for everybody, right? If you want to do it for new customers, you don't necessarily want to advertise a promo code to all existing customers, right? So it's up to you how you want to promote that.
got it. Awesome. Wow. We have such an active chat. This is amazing. So many questions on promos that are coming up, but I'm just going to pull a couple of the more relevant ones maybe. Al is asking, what stops customers from using a fake phone number over and over? So is there any two-factor authentication or anything like that?
Well, there is a two-factor. We do send the two factors. When you enter your phone number to redeem a promo code, it sends you a message that you have to type back into the kiosk, right? I mean, there was a case where, a customer was able to obtain multiple phone numbers, and that becomes a little bit difficult if a customer is using different phone numbers and different laundry cards,
Yeah. At
right?
that
So,
point,
and that's
as
why I think, go ahead.
if a person wants to scam you, they're going to scam you. Like it's not, we can just control for the general rule, which is we do a two-factor authentication. So it's not a fake, we're verifying that it's not a fake phone number. But if this person has multiple phone numbers, Google phone numbers, et cetera, there's really nothing that we could do to
Well,
prevent
that's
that,
one reason
right?
why we're probably going to introduce soon the minimum you have to purchase in order to redeem the promo code, right?
Yeah,
So that will mitigate
100%.
that sort of situation.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
And we have another question from Al about offering money for registration. Like if they register, can they get $2 free or something like that?
that's true. Not yet, but yeah, I've heard that one. I'll note it. I mean, it's just another request. I guess maybe we'll prioritize it somewhere a
Yeah.
little bit higher. But yeah, that one's
Awesome. Well, this is
yeah.
super helpful already, and I hope that people are getting a lot of excitement out of these things. So let's talk a little bit about reload bonuses, not so much registration bonuses, but reload bonuses that people can take into account.
Yeah, this is just a segue to bonuses in general. So, if you want to set bonuses, it's like reload bonuses. You get X amount of dollars, say $2 for every $20 you reload. You do that through each kiosk. You have to click the wrench icon. You have to have two kiosks. You actually have to match that and configure it there. And it can distinguish between credit card reloads or cash only reloads if you want to incentivize cash. This is the way you would do like a common promotion when if it's a grand opening, having a promo like double your money or something like that. So the value threshold and the value of bonus settings will be both set to a dollar in this case, right? So again, these reload bonuses are for at the back. They're not bonuses like extra money for when you do every 5 washes you get some extra money. We don't quite have that one. We have what's called a free dry, which I'll get into. Yeah. What's the ETA on the market? No, the marketing tab's already there, Andy. We just email support@laundroworks.com. We'll enable it for you.
I think, yeah, and I think that
Yeah.
they were also requesting about, um, oh, somebody maybe DM'd you for that one, but
Okay.
yeah, you're good. Keep on going.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go to the next slide.
Okay. Free dry
Okay,
bonuses.
so free dry, I just want to go over that. This is a promotion where you can configure each washer to give a certain amount of money to a secondary balance. It's a dual balance system. And the secondary balance is free dry can only be used towards drying, right? So let's say 60-pound washer gives you $1.25 that you can now use towards drying. Dries will still have a price, say, 50 cents for X amount of minutes, but they'll dip into that. When you present your card, the reader will first take money from that free dry bonus that you may have accumulated, right? Um, what we've added recently, however, is this feature has been around for a long time. But what we've added recently, however, is the ability to expire those free dry credits, right? So if you go into your VAC, the kiosk, the settings there, it's actually configured through there. There's a free balance expiry hours field. You see I've highlighted in red. Um, Change that. 0 means they don't expire, but you can put 24 for 24 hours there, and then it'll expire after 24 hours. Right, so customer coming back in a week, they're not going to have those dry credits remaining from the previous week. I'd say most people who we tell this to end up enabling this because it's really for the game,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. And is this something that they need support, engagement, or
No,
facilitation
no,
of, or
this
is
one
this
doesn't. No,
available to everybody?
yeah, this available.
Amazing. Have you heard of any major success stories from this about any sort of like re-engagement or anything like that from end customers who come in and love it? Any feedback?
Well, yeah, I mean, it works well, and especially in environments where, free dry is sort of expected in certain regions. It's definitely appreciated by customers, so you almost have to have it. But I mean, again, I think people really like the expiry feature because then you can be a little bit maybe more liberal in how much dry credits you can give them, so to ensure they can get to complete their dry for the day, but you don't give too much for future returns.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Cool. Um,
yeah.
Angie is
There we
saying
go.
that
Yeah, in
everyone in the
Philadelphia. Yeah,
Philadelphia
Angie.
area runs free dry. Yeah. Cool.
Let's go next
Time of
slide.
day and week pricing. This is one of my favorites.
So yeah, time of day. Again, this is one of those features. If you don't have it, just ask us. We'll enable it. But it's in the main page. When you drill down to your locations where you see all your machines and you can manage pricing, there's a big button that says time of day pricing. And through that, you can configure all sorts of discounts, time of week. Oh yeah.
I was just going to show it because we're
Yeah,
here
yeah. Can
anyways.
you close that? Can you click like not interested in?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, time of day right there. Yeah, click on that. Yeah. And yeah, go click add pricing rule. So you can add all sorts of different rules. Maybe you have 50% off washers on a Monday between 12 and 3, or even your largest ones. You don't have to set all washers. You can say just your 60 pounder, your 80 pounders. There's a lot of, it's very fine in granularity with what you can do here, right? And you can do a percentage discount or a fixed discount. Um, then another day you might want to offer free, like completely free drying for whatever reason to use, without even requiring a wash. So in this case, you just put the discount mode to 100%. Again, super, super useful. Yep.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to save it,
Yeah,
but
I
you'll
mean,
see.
this
Yeah, you'll
is
see it saved.
and this is good just to move people over to like slower days, trim down traffic from your weekends where, you might be at full capacity, get people to come on like a Tuesday, um, at slower hours, give them a little bit of a discount, but then, you're not maxed out. You're not turning people back because all your washers are full on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if this is something that you want enabled and you don't see it in your account, just email us and we'll get that enabled
Yes.
for you.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Guys, this is so exciting. So much engagement. I love the
Yeah.
chat right now. This is awesome.
So the next slide actually is the
And
last wash.
also
So
actually before,
go ahead.
sorry, Brian Riesland, one of our favorite people ever, says this feature is great for turning off all readers to support the last wash timing as well.
That's in the next slide. Yeah. So
Okay.
in that same control, instead of saying pricing, because it's schedule based, you can say, I'm going to disable, like this feature we call last wash, because what's typically used for when you put the pricing mode to payment disabled, right, what it's going to do between the time slots that you have told it, it's going to disable allowing payment on all the washers, right? You want to kick people out when you close at a certain hour, right? So they don't get in there 1 minute before closing and start the full cycles of laundry, right? And management, if you have a customer who's, kicking and screaming, you can use the management cards or wash links to override that. You can still start it as your tenants can still start those machines.
Yeah, and you could see over here that I could set it for, as like an overnight shift, for example, from 10 p.m. until maybe 6 a.m. the following day. Payment is disabled for all dryers or all washers. And, actually, Mike has a really great question. I, first of all, love your engagement with Free Laundry Day, but Mike was asking if you could set it to be completely free washers and dryers for a free laundry day event. You could absolutely do that. You would just have to set the rule like in advance. Like today's Monday, let's say tomorrow is the free laundry day. You would set it to be all dryers between the hours of X and Y. And you would just say 100% discount over here. And then you could do the same thing for all washers as well. Max, payment disabled does not disable wash links or management card starts. Those two are exceptional, and it only disables the starts from laundry cards that are not
Well,
management.
yeah, Max, email us. I'll be here to hear kind of the use case of disabling wash links as well. I right, so maybe we can think about that. Maybe certain wash links accounts. Again, Charlie will talk about wash links. Wash links is a brand new, been around for a little bit, but it's a management on floor kind of employee app, right? And then Charlie will cover that.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
okay. So
Awesome.
okay. So if you don't know, reader can act as part of an access control system, typically for bathroom doors, but you can actually put it outside. But generally, it's used for bathroom door control, and even maybe like a janitor's closet or something like that, right? So just like in a hotel room, you tap your card to unlock the door strike here, and you can push the door through, right? But what's cool about this is you can add all sorts of criteria for what allows the card to open the door, right? Because you don't just want maybe somebody unwanted, maybe homeless person or something who's causing trouble, just getting a card and having lifetime access to the door, right? So what you could do is you can set the maximum hours since last use. So it has to be an active card that unlocks the door. Moreover, you can say what kind of use. You can say you have to have a wash or a wash or dry, like using, say the vac or something is not sufficient. You actually have to do one of these things in the last 3 hours before getting access to the door. Yeah, it's a newish feature. Just email us. You might see these controls in there. One caveat, see, it says like application version needs to be there, like at a certain version. We might need to do a firmware update on your readers before you can enable it. It is slightly newer. Uh,
Where can I access the door access controls here?
That's in the wrench. Okay, good question. That's the wrench. That
Yep.
will be in the door in the machines list on the bottom. You see like
Yeah.
the doors. I don't know if you'll have it in this example, but just click the wrench, and that's where all the settings for that particular reader are. Yeah, you'll
Got
see
it.
it. You'll see it here.
Okay, so if you have a reader for the door, for the bathroom door, it would show up in your machines list over here. And then
Hmm.
you would click on the wrench icon and then set exactly what we just showed in here, which is door access cost, minimum balance required, maximum hours since last use, and so on. Sound
Yeah,
about right?
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Very cool.
And if it's not working or it's telling you, yeah, just email us support@laundroworks.com. We may need to run a firmware update on your reader.
Yep. Awesome. And Brian's saying that his attendants love the door access control in the bathrooms. I'm super happy to hear that.
Excellent. Okay.
Great. Okay, we are just running through these slides. I know that there's a request to have this in a format of a PDF. Love that idea. We'll definitely get something out to you in addition to just this recording, but super exciting stuff. Other reader uses. Let's go. I love this one.
Yeah, so actually about a year ago we adapted to massage chair and there's actually one we support like with the plug and play installations, the Infinity massage chair. It's actually a connector just plugs in there. So that's pretty cool. There's more and more random like vending machines I keep seeing the readers be put on. So, have fun with this. If you have a little bit of real estate there somewhere in your store, yeah, consider some of these use cases.
Awesome. So Oleg, we do have a
Outdoor
question.
vacuum. Sorry, go ahead.
We do have a question over here. If there's a brand of door lock that works with the Laundroworks readers.
Generally, we have a connector for the HES 5200s. It's like a door strike. We just chose one. It's really popular. It's easy to get. There's a link to where to buy it. on our installation site. But generally, it can work with any 12-volt door strike. You can even put these on mag-log doors or doors with a control. Let's say you have a sliding door or something like that. We can even control that, right? It's almost any door.
Yeah. And really what we're talking about here when we're talking about like getting a deeper kind of use of the Laundroworks system, if you have Laundroworks already, bring it to the next level. If you don't have to manage cash, as Max is saying, so nice not to have to collect quarters or bills. Like if you're not doing that on your machines, why do it on your vending machines? Why have to worry about it in other areas? Let your users, let your customers who come in use the same card or the application to run different devices within your store. Okay, cool. Wow, there is so much chatter going on over here. And interesting. Andy also said we use door access for the main door for our after hours access.
Mhm.
Yeah, awesome. And
Excellent.
then Oleg went ahead and posted, I think you posted it just to the hosts, but
Okay,
here
go ahead.
is
Yeah.
here is the door lock model, HES, right?
Yeah.
S5200. Okay, cool.
Let me post the link.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, perfect. He'll post the link
There.
up. And Eric, great to see you. For probably a bunch of you also know Eric. So great to see you in the chat here. Super happy to have you. I'm seeing a lot of feedback requests, everybody. Love to see this. Also encourage you to join our community. We will be kind of ramping up our engagement, for feedback collection and so on. We're going to focus on the topics here today, but we're going to be making note of all the feedback that's coming through, and, reviewing it as a team.
Craig, I saw your email about the reporting. Please connect with us, support@laundroworks.com. Love
Yeah,
to hear, because we're doing a lot on that area, including a laundry portal redesign. There's a lot of interesting stuff. Please connect with us on what your requirements are for the reporting.
Yep. And so same thing for you, Steve. Great to see you as well. If you could just, either we'll make note of it, we'll follow up, but generally support@laundroworks.com. Awesome. Wash before dry. You want to talk a little bit about this one?
Yes, so that's another little feature where you can configure the system to force customers to wash before they can dry. It's as simple as that. I mean, we've heard interesting stories from operators where they just don't want people walking off the street with a bunch of just wet clothes, maybe people they don't want in there, and just starting a few dryers for like $1 and causing trouble for the customers who are doing the full washing and drying. So yeah, if you just we you can turn that on. So again, this is one of those restricted, so contact us if you want that enabled.
100%.
Right?
And is there a reason why this would be beneficial to somebody? Is it just making sure that they like what could you tell me a little bit more
Well,
about the use
like
case
I mean,
here?
really, the washers are the money makers, right? So you really want customers to walk in there and do the full thing, just washing and drying.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you might be taking capacity away from the dryers, and people who would actually washed and really contribute to your margin in a meaningful way now can't dry. And again, I mean, what I mentioned is that's the story I heard is just some people may want to dry or not necessarily, it could be stinky clothes or something, homeless or something. They get wet, they come in there and just you need
Yeah,
to dry. You just don't want them in there.
absolutely.
Yeah, without being washed first, let's say.
Awesome. I love all the chatter, guys. This is so exciting and definitely see a demand for this type of engagement in the future. So thank you so much for all of the comments that are coming in, trying to keep up with them. Just a quick question, and maybe this is something that our other users of the door lock access could talk a little bit about, but Justin was asking, how does this work with the after hours door access for first time customers? Like how many customers are you potentially missing out on with a door lock? I guess if you're closed, then it would be locked. Are you talking about because we have the bathroom control? Sorry, as I read it, I was realizing that might not have been the best question to ask the group here. It's all good. We're good. Andy said we have remote unlockability for first timers. Thank you, Andy, for saying that.
Mm, interesting. Okay.
Awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Awesome for 24 hours. Great. Okay, awesome. So let's go ahead and continue on. And then actually before we do, because we're talking about wash before dry, Avi has a question here. Can you have a setting that says someone has to pay for a full wash and not rinse and spin in order to get the free dry?
Mhm. There's always corner cases with not yet. No, we
Yeah.
don't have that. Yeah, they can technically do it. Yeah, right now there's no setting for that. But that's interesting feedback. Yeah. Rinse and spin.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Account discounts. Let's keep going. We have so much to share. I hope that some of these things are enlightening. I do want to just be, we are halfway through. We have not
Yeah,
even
I'll just go
covered
through this.
half the
So
material. Yeah.
right. So another thing, if you don't know, like each card or app, you can assign to a specific discount group. So if you have a wholesale customer or something, a really VIP customer, you want to give them 20% off or 50% off the actual vend price when they go to pay at the machine, you could do that. Just drill down to that card or app through the card tracker and the administrative info tab. You can set the discounts. Okay, next slide.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. Card
Okay,
refunds.
card refunds. I mean,
I
this
love
is
this one.
yeah, just occasionally we get questions about how it works. So you can issue money back to the card in multiple ways. One of them is through the Laundry portal, just in the card tracker, search for that card and a load value, make that request, load value tab, make a request. Important thing is to know is they have to put the card on the value add center kiosk, and that's what's going to write that 650 request in this case back to the card. If they go straight to the washer, system's not going to know about it. The readers don't add value. Right. If it's an app account, obviously it goes instantly. They'll get that ding notification that 650 has been added back to their card, to their app, excuse me. But you can also do these refunds directly at the kiosk without the Laundry portal using the management card or even the WashLinks app that Charlie's going to talk about. You don't have to do this all through the Laundry portal.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll talk a little bit about wash links in just a moment.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we're a little tight on time here, but one thing is a lot of people ask me or ask us support team, how do I get the float? For the float, which is really definition is the sum of all outstanding balances on all the cards, right? Excluding any cards you may have banned. You could use the card report. And when you drill down to your location on the right-hand side, click card report. And you can even put some parameters on there. You may want float that's kind of, say, stale, as you can say that those customers probably not coming back if they haven't already been to the store in the last, let's say, 30 days in this case, right? So you can run that report. Might take a minute or two because there's a lot of data to crunch through. And that gives you on the bottom, see here, the float of the store, right? And this is actually, in this case, it's stale float. I would consider it stale float. Customers have visited in the month. This is kind of potentially, you could talk to your accountant, whatever. This could be not counted as debt already because if you're assuming they're not coming back. Um, anyway, so this could have nice use for your accounting. Okay, that's it for the float.
Awesome. Um, Great. And then last one, which is going to transition us into
Exactly.
our mobile app.
Yeah, so the mobile app Charlie will talk about, but you will get a nice wash dry fold report when you use the app to do your wash dry fold. You know, through the order number, everything is tracked. You'll get very similar porting actually on the Sense side, and you will see more and more features kind of, some features overlap as we integrate the platforms. But you can go wash, dry, fold. You can see who did each wash, each order, how much money they're spending, what the total intake was, what the cost per pound is. Very, very useful for, monitoring for suspicious activities and stuff like that. So, and Charlie will talk about that. So yeah, with
Yeah,
that, I'll transition it off to Charlie talk about the apps and the integrations we have with Sense.
absolutely. And the real quick before we transition off, Felix had asked to reload the card. Can we just load it through the portal or does the card need to be at the VAC? And I said that the card needs to be at the VAC, even if it's on the, or no,
No, it
no, are
doesn't need to
you?
be at the back. You just make a request, right? And then the system just sits there. And then next time the card is presented
Yes.
to the VAC, that's when it'll load the value. But the person doesn't need to be
Yes.
there. You just make that request. He comes back a day later and just dips the card into the VAC. That's all.
Yep, 100%. So that's what I was just saying. The card has to be at the
Yeah.
VAC, even if it's on the next time they visit and tap the VAC. Yeah,
Okay, sorry.
their request is immediate, but in order for it to be effective, it has to be present to the VAC. Okay, great. If you have any specific questions on your integration, Max, please email support@laundroworks.com. And yes, Mike, we might have said wash links, not laundry cat, but we are going to start. Charlie, why don't we actually start with our employee app? I'm not sure if that does that throw you for a loop if we start with the wash links, or what do you
No,
prefer?
we can start with wash links.
Okay, so let's start with wash links.
All right, great. I'm excited to be here to talk about the apps and integrations that are available. And yeah, we'll kick it off with wash links. So Saban, a question for you right off the
Yep.
bat. Did you ever have a service industry job growing up?
I worked at Johnny Rockets and Islands and BJ's for a total of 8 years. So if you're on the West Coast, what's up?
Well, I'm a huge fan of Johnny Rockets. But follow-up question, did you ever give out a free appetizer, free dessert while you were working those jobs?
My friends loved the milkshakes and fries I was able to hook them up with for sure.
Well, it's very common in the restaurant industry that people are giving away free things, and that same concept can bleed over into laundry as well. So one thing that WashLinks does is it actually allows you as an operator to be confident that when you're not in the store, that your attendants are actually still following the protocols you have in place. So essentially what'll happen is each attendant, if you have wash links, will have their own individual login, and this app will actually replace the current manager cards, which give a little bit more leeway into how they can be used and do not have the same attribution capabilities. So Saban, I'm sure you're pulling up the wash links app now.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm doing here. Sorry, I had it open, but opening it right now.
So Washlinks has all the same capabilities as your manager cards with those added bonuses of attribution, right? And I know Oleg showed a brief slide of what that looks like in the reporting on the Laundroworks side, but your attendants will be able to go to the wash, dry, fold section to start orders. And those orders will correspond directly with the orders that exist in the Sense POS. So if your order is S-1234, or in this case, S-6785, your attendant will simply click into the order, hit start machine for this order, and carry their phone over to the reader to zero out the machine and start the process. Now, one thing that I've noted with a lot of my operators is when they do make this switch, they actually see a huge decrease in their management card starts without seeing that drop off in the wash dry fold, which indicates that, whether it be on purpose or, by accident, there is some misuse of the current manager cards. Attendants will also be able to start machines if it's a customer service start or a maintenance start. And those specific starts are actually going to require that the attendant put in a note, which will also be tracked in the Laundry portal. Uh, the attendants for them, it's very easy to download the app and get started. But one thing that I have heard from some customers is their attendants may not feel, very comfortable actually downloading an app onto their own phone. If that's the case, I'm sure many of you, like myself, you have an old phone for that day that God forbid you drop your current phone and you need a backup. You're free to use that as long as it hooks up to the Wi-Fi in the store. Your attendants will be able to sign in and out. That solution is best if you only have, let's say, one attendant at a time. If you have multiple, that can be a little cumbersome because they will have to sign in and out on their phone.
And just a quick note there, Charlie. Felix also said that he put a phone in the store and they need to log in with their account once they start their shift. So it's totally something that people do
Yep.
if they want to mitigate it. And there was a question as well about whether this could be used if this is only iPhone and this is iPhone and Android. These are mobile devices that have NFC tap enabled. As you saw, whenever we click on Start Machine over here with a reason, it is the tap, and iPads don't support tap, or like Android tablets don't support the tap functionality. So just want to be super clear on that.
Absolutely. One thing that I like to note here as well is, yes, this will help mitigate theft, but I think there's also the potential of leveraging this for training new employees, right? If you start to look at your reporting and notice that your attendant Maria, for example, right? She's got 20-pound wash or 20-pound orders and she's using an 80-pound washer, and you see that happen multiple times. well, then maybe it's time to have a conversation with the attendant and educate them like this is a waste of resources, right? Not only is it the water in the machines, but it's using up one of your larger machines that a self-serve customer might actually need, or you may actually need for a larger wash, dry, fold order. So WashLinks has a lot of benefits. Once again, this is going to replace your manager cards and give you all the functionality plus a little bit more with the focus on attribution.
Absolutely. And there's a caveat here with regards to wash links. Your firmware or readers do need to be of a specific time frame. So, Oleg, what is it, 2019, 2021 that wash links will work? The
Yeah, about
most
2020, I just replied. Yeah, that's when we updated the
2020.
reader for the new NFC boards that talk to the phones.
Yeah, 100%. So is it something as simple as if they have older machines, they just need a new board? Like
They
what
need
is
new
this
reader boards. Yeah, I don't need to
new
replace the
reader
entire reader,
boards?
just the board inside.
Yeah. So talk to us if you're interested in this and wash links. Of course, management cards still work. We're just showing the extra functionality that might be available to you. And so also the question here came up about where the access VAC screen options are. If I'm not mistaken, it is here under VAC
No, it's in the
service.
menu. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. It's in the menu. You don't have it turned on
I
here.
don't have that okay, so I don't have
We're
that
gonna
permission.
enable
So
that. Yeah, there's gonna be
yeah.
there is actually a button that's
Yeah, so with regards to that, what I see on this screen is because these are the permissions that have been set for me from the Laundry portal for me, this user, of what I can do and what I can see, and you can specify that on an individual user basis. So I don't have Access VAC screen, but it would be here if it was enabled.
yes. So the operator, you as the operator, the owner, you will go
Yes.
into Laundry portal and configure all the permissions for each employee account. Maybe one employee you don't want starting machines for free or act doing back stuff or adding money to laundry cards. You just want to wash and fold. So you would just deselect certain checkboxes and select certain others.
Yep. And then we are getting some questions over here about integration with other POS systems. We do integrate with other POS systems other than Sense for that wash, dry, fold functionality, right, Oleg?
Yes, yes. They can
Yeah.
publish orders to the Wash Dry Fold tab, and you can process them.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Awesome. So let's go ahead and keep going, Charlie. Lots of questions here.
Yeah, absolutely. So now that we've covered an attendant-facing app, it's important to talk about Laundrocat, which is actually your customer-facing app. Saban, I'm going to ask you another question right off the bat here.
Love it.
When was the last time you were out in the wild and you saw someone tap their phone to pay for something at a store?
Oh, I literally did it about an hour ago for lunch, but yeah, this is constant.
Absolutely. So we're seeing this more and more often, right? And Yahoo Finance is actually stating that 25% of people are actually using mobile wallets to make payments, right? So considering that, that means that 25% of your current customers and 25% of your potential customers are looking for a solution for mobile payments. And Sense and Laundroworks heard the call and they developed Laundrocat. So just like the employee-facing app, it is going to require NFC capabilities on the phone for tap to pay. And the app is easy
Sorry.
to download on your Android or Apple devices, and it allows your customers to use it just like they would a physical laundry card with some added benefits, right? So your customers from their home can actually add funds. They can see how busy the store is. I'm sure by seeing what or how many washers or dryers are available, right? I'm sure a lot of us, we Google a business, right, before we go there because we don't want to go during peak hours. It's a similar thing as that, and it can help reduce some bottlenecking by, customers coming in and trying to find times that are slower. Other things are they'll actually be able to see exactly where their wash or dry is in the cycle on the app. So this can help actually get people back in the store a little bit quicker, making sure that your washers and dryers aren't filled. That's a constant complaint I hear about from customers today, is people just will leave their stuff, go someplace else. This app can help, get them a little bit more in line and, a little bit more timely. Another customer benefit is, with current laundry cards, the way they are, if a customer doesn't register that card, right, and they lose it, it's very hard to recover those funds. But this being a digital app, those funds will always be available and they will not be able to lose it. Even if they were to lose their phone, they could always download the app again and get back into their profile.
Awesome. We are having such a chat in here in the webinar chat. Mostly hilariously, I love people who say, "What is a laundry cat?" and how can I get it white labeled? So Gail, if you're having any issues, please feel free to reach out to support@laundroworks.com about your specific issue. Laundry Cat is going to be available in 2026, like we're targeting Q1 2026, available as a white labeled application. Yes, there is a cost associated with our mobile apps. They are, if I'm not mistaken, $600 for the year subscription or $75 a month for Washlinks or Laundry Cat. And so I have hopefully answered that questions. And so let me show you a sneak preview about what that looks like. So I have it right over here. We are lovingly internally calling this project Laundry Dog, just internally. So that's why you might see Laundry Dog right over here. But it is white labeled. So being able to actually have your logo and your branding colors displayed over here. There will be some slightly updated functionality that you will see, but the whole UI got a refresh and it will be white labeled to match your branding. So this is coming sometime in Q1, we hope, 2026. So just to show you, it is in development right now.
And just a few more things to note here, Savan, on laundry,
Yes.
right? Like benefits for your customers, obviously we want that, right? Meeting their spending habits. Laundry Cat can definitely help with that. But for operators, there's also benefit, right? So unlike traditional tap to pay technology, it's not just going to be that the customer goes over to the reader and taps it and it takes right from their credit card the amount of the purchase. They'll still be buying funds and adding it to their store or their mobile card, essentially, just like they do today with physical cards. So you'll still be getting that float. Adoption is super easy. So if you go ahead and end up enabling the LaundryCat app and purchasing it with us, you'll get some materials that you can print out, simple as scanning a QR code, very easy to get started. And one of the biggest things here is actually it helps mitigate loss of revenue, right? So in today's world, if your Wi-Fi goes down, you're not going to be able to take credit card transactions at the back. However, if your customers are leveraging the LaundryCat app, as long as they have a cell plan and service, they'll still be able to load funds from credit cards right to their digital wallet and the app.
Awesome. And just a quick note, because we're talking about loading funds. Al is asking if Laundry has a different merchant account versus Laundroworks. So we are using Stripe as our payment processor for Laundry Cat. And some of you may be on Stripe for Laundroworks. If you are not, if you're using a different merchant account provider, then yes, it will be different. But otherwise, it is also going to be the same provider that Sense uses. So a really good opportunity to kind of unify everything there with regards to Stripe and Laundry Cat and Sense across the board. Cool. Anything, Charlie, else? Because we are blowing up with questions.
Yeah. So we'll keep moving along and we'll try to get to as many questions as possible.
Perfect.
The next thing we're going to touch base on is an integration point between Sense and Laundroworks, and that's actually the Laundroworks POS card reader.
Sorry to interrupt you. Before we get there, let's finish some of the questions that are on mobile apps, okay? Amber is asking if we use Sense to white label as a pickup and delivery app, will we be able to merge both apps when this app launches in 2026? That is our goal, is to have like a unified app. That would be amazing, right? Manage everything if you are using both systems. We'll keep you posted, but I just love that question. Absolutely. Hannah is also asking, oh, like this one's for you, Charlie. Can I send marketing push notifications through the app apart from when their wash is done?
That I'm not sure on.
I don't believe so.
Don't believe I have not heard of that capability, Oleg.
Oh, like you're muted, but I could see your mouth
You're
moving.
talking about like mass campaigns, right? Like sending out a bunch of messages to a bunch of customers based on some criteria. If that's the question, then I think that'll be part of it because we're doing a lot of work in our marketing side. So actually, all this registration stuff that I was showing earlier, exporting that list and actually keeping in sync with Sense Accelerate, where you would be able to create all these campaigns to mass
Hmm.
message people, whether it's card or app customers, whether it's an in-app notification or a text message if it's a card. Right
Yeah.
now, we're getting close to, releasing something, but that's definitely a big focus for us.
Absolutely. And so, speaking of integration with Sense, we want to talk a little bit, and it's not just with Sense. Obviously, if we're using a different POS provider, we do have the POS reader integration. So, Charlie, tell us a little bit about this one.
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite things. And Savan, we got a pretty good rapport going, so I'm gonna throw another question at you. So if you were to go to a business and hand them $50 and then they were to tell you, great, but you can only use this on one product, how would you feel?
Not great. No, not great. I like we are the generation of like quantity and availability, right?
Absolutely. Well, the Laundroworks POS card reader is actually going to allow those self-serve laundry cards as a payment option at your Sense POS, which is a great way to just increase purchases. Any good marketer or salesperson is going to tell you the easiest way to make a sale or increase sales is to remove barriers in the purchasing process, right? So for those people who, already have money on their cards, if you're selling products behind the counter and you're not leveraging a vending machine, right? This is going to make it really easy for them as opposed to having to pull out cash or find another payment method like a credit card or debit card to spend money that they've already actually given you. So this is a really great solution for that. You're also have the ability to effectively remove cash from your operations. So the way that would work is if you have the Laundroworks card reader for the POS, we can assign it so that it'll work with the Sense POS. And at that point, you can just take credit card transactions and laundry card transactions at the point of sale while leaving all cash transactions to the back. And for pretty much everyone, the back is one, if not the safest place in your store. So this mitigates the possibility of theft, God forbid, from an attendant, but also provides a safer experience for your attendants so that they're not handling cash in front of customers. And one of my favorite things about this is the ability to start leveraging a laundry card as a gift card, right? So if my niece Maria, right, she's about to graduate high school and go off to college, I can come into your store and I can go to the back and I can load, let's say 50, maybe $100 onto a card, register it in my niece's name and give it to her. And with the Laundroworks card reader, you're actually going to be opening up not just self-serve, but the ability to leverage wash, dry, fold, or, once again, get products. So this is really a good way to make things easier for your clients, reduce barriers, and increase transactions.
Absolutely. And so we actually saw this when we looked at the laundry portal earlier over here, the POS one. That is the POS reader that allows your customers to pay at checkout with their card or also with the Laundry Cat app, right? I
Yep,
think.
yep. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can pay using Logic
100%.
Cat directly at the point of sale reader. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Mike says all excellent points for the POS reader. Exactly. Given we are pretty short on time, we have only 5 minutes left. We have had a lot of questions come in. So I'm super happy with that engagement and just really justifies the demand for this type of webinar. Why don't we talk a little bit more about the integration, Charlie?
Yeah, so what we're going to discuss right now is the biggest step forward in bringing the two systems together. And this is actually the data integration between Laundroworks and Sense. So anyone who's leveraging both in your Sense dashboard, you'll actually start to be able to see the spend off of laundry cards for any given period that you choose. You can see that in the image on the left-hand side of the screen, revenue by payment type. And then under there, you'll actually also start to see your turns per machine group that you have listed in your Laundry portal and how much of the spend, how much of that total spend over that given period is attributed to those turns specifically. This can be a really great way to start getting a more holistic view from a bird's eye view. I can hop in here. It's mobile friendly, the dashboard view. So you'll have this information at the tip of your fingers. We'll also be providing, and yeah, Savon, I'll get to the heat map. It's one of my favorite parts. The other things we'll be providing is actually like reports that show every single turn and giving you all of the data that you want within cents as well. And the heat map that Savon is circling with her cursor over there is one of my favorite things because I like to think of it as a way to better understand how you can run self-serve promotions, how you can run staffing for your full service. So you can pull this dashboard and select specific date ranges. So let's say we want to look at last month, right? Well, we're going to see Monday through Friday between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. There's barely any self-serve turns, right? So what we may want to consider is while using this data, maybe that's something we want to do happy hour pricing, which is something Oleg alluded to earlier. So this can be a great way when you're starting to think of how am I going to implement these things? When are the right times? This heat map can be really helpful. Just to the right of the self-serve button right there, if this was live, you could click that. And if you're using wash links, it's going to start to show you your full service turns per hour per day. What I like about that is staffing, right? So if you start to see, I have two people working on the afternoons on Tuesday, right? And one in the mornings, but really the midday is my biggest time or my busiest time, then maybe I need to restructure those hours and shift an employee from that, end of day shift and get them more into a midday shift so I can provide, better customer experience. And, better customer experience, that will always lead to, reoccurring customers. So essentially, the sharing of this data is going to give you a more holistic view. And one of the most exciting things on the horizon actually is going to be porting over your self-serve customers from Laundroworks that are opted into marketing. And if you're leveraging tools like Sense Accelerate, you will actually be able to blast text message all of your customers, all your self-serve customers when you're running those happy hour promotions. And that's going to be a great way to get more people in the door, kind of spread out your business, avoid bottlenecking once again. And, if you're interested in any of the things we covered today, please do not hesitate to reach out to our teams to learn more about pricing and what other capabilities might be involved.
Absolutely. And there's just been a lot of excitement and discussion here. And I'm so glad that you mentioned the Laundroworks customer sync to Sense and also Sense Accelerate. I know we've kind of alluded to it throughout the session today, but I was just messaging with Anthony, our product manager for self-service, and I was like, we have to get you on a webinar. And that was literally the topic that we just discussed was customer sync and how to market to your self-serve customers. So hopefully you guys will see a webinar coming soon on that. But would love to go through any questions that we haven't gotten to. If you have a specific question that we didn't answer, it was probably because it was too specific. And so to your use, so please feel free to email us at support@laundroworks.com, but happy to go through any additional questions now in these last minute or two. I know we've covered so much. Again, you'll get a recording to this webinar. I'm so grateful, Oleg and Charlie, for the time that you spent and all the knowledge that you have transferred to us, to all of those team members here today. And otherwise, if I'm going to keep monitoring this, I'm looking at questions coming in. Does the annual fee cover both wash links and laundry cat? I believe they are billed separately. So no, I believe they're billed separately. So just reach out to support or our sales team and we'll help you out there. The second thing to take into consideration here is joining our community. Once again, Jesse, it might have gotten lost. If you could drop a link in the chat to join our community. Would love to just get feedback and also understand what you guys want to learn about and have more webinar topics ready to go for you. And then you also have the ability to reach out to your CSM if you are on Sense. And if not, Matt Duncan is your CSM on the Laundroworks side. You may have heard from him. You can always reach out to him as well. And we are super excited to wrap at exactly 59 minutes in our first Laundroworks webinar. So thank you so much for tuning in, for spending this hour with us. That was such an exciting whirlwind, and we can't wait to see you on the next one. I love all this engagement. Charlie, Oleg, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. We'll chat soon. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.